This is at the Capitol. This is the Daily Caller, and we are live. Everybody, check this out.
I don't hate black people. Oh,
yeah! What is happening? Why are these people even here? Like, what is the point?
Okay. Well, this is from CIA Simulation Warlord. 30,000 troops were definitely the appropriate response to this.
This can't be recent. They wouldn't even be allowed in that area. I don't know. That's as bad as that homeless person setting a bonfire today, and everybody went nuts, like thought the DC was on fire.
Let's see.
He wanted a hug, and she went in for more. Maybe he went in for more.
Some of these. We got to read some of these comments. Moments before she was asking the man to call her for the camera. Oh, okay. I feel like we should expect a convoy of tanks, soldiers, and equipment headed across I-10, flying Trump flags the way they are making this out to be. It's insane. I mean, is this Burning Man? And that's Sir Jean-Luc Connery. He was one of the people who was helping the trend of the Pelosi loves Trump meme that was that exploded a few nights. I think 3-4 nights ago. That was so funny. All gas, no brakes explains everything. From Michael Cox, looks like 30,000 troops is not enough.
That guy that stormed the Capitol wearing the bull horns.
Yes,
imagine 30,000 of him just putting their horns down and charging all at the same time.
that douchebag. Those guys figured out how to become famous. They figured out how to become hugely famous for almost no reason whatsoever. And these people. Speaking of people who are famous for no reason, for no apparent reason whatsoever. I could not pull the full article because I'm not a member of the town hall, but I tried to find it here. AOC people have no choice but to violently riot. Like this was back in August.
And now all of a sudden it's not okay.
Right. So the hypocrisy is through the roof with these people. During an interview of New York's Hot 97 earlier this week, she argued marginalized communities have no choice but to riot. And here they are lying and lying and lying continuously. The hypocrisy is through the roof. And there is a tiny bit of me that still believes that Trump will do something. And the reason why I believe that is because I don't believe he would leave us high and dry. There are things that he could have done a long time ago or last week, or we don't know, but I don't know. I still have some faith.
According to my friend that was in the military, he said one of the reasons why, if they're going to do it, but it hasn't happened yet, one of the reasons why that might be is because he said that the military isn't going to do something at that high of a level without first having all of the evidence, computers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They need to have to back up their claims. Like he said, they're going to prepare as much as they possibly can, gather up as much evidence as they can before they would do something to that extent. If they do it, right. That would be one of the reasons why nothing happened, if it's going to happen. But yeah,
and it's a damn shame here. So you mentioned this a second ago. Mm-hmm. This is kind of funny that the shaman. I can't believe this guy has become so famous. It's like when they become this level of famous, they could literally start their own GoFundMe and get rich off of that. It's just pathetic. Detained until trial began. He's has certain things that hurt his stomach, right?
Yeah, his mother, when interviewed, said he has a food allergy. She's like, he has a food allergy. That's why he's not eating. You better make sure that he has all the right food and everything he needs, or his food allergy could kill him. She might as well just said, you make sure Johnny has a clean pair of pants.
So do you think that he will be so he's in jail still? I'm surprised that he wasn't just let go like all the other Blam Tifa idiots. Well, just let go all the time. They're just always let go all the time.
He's not one of the paid rioters on the Democratic GoFundMe page, so no, he'll be in jail forever. Some of these people that the FBI's arrested, the Democrats want the FBI to go down hard on them, like no due process or anything, put them in jail for life. And some people within the justice system's like, whoa, let's back down here. A few of these people were just in areas they weren't allowed to be, but as anything else, yeah, that was it. And it's chillax here.
And also, just to point out real quick, in case anybody, if you don't know, this guy, he had a spear. The flag that he had is a spear.
and he didn't just grab it off of the Capitol, I don't think. I think he actually walked in with it.
And you said, didn't he say so? Like he was going to stab Pelosi. That's what he was saying that he was going to do. But
that's what they're looking into, with his American patriotic spear, his bullhorns, and I don't know why they even tried to break in the window. If those horns were real, all you had to do was get down like this and bull charge the freaking door.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man!
All right, so we do try to keep things up and up, but there's so much bad news, and we just have to talk about it, you guys. So, kill all cops, rioters deface Vacaville City Hall and police headquarters. This was today. So, of course, protesters are taking to this, vandalizing City Hall and local police department, saying they want to kill the police. And so here we are trying to just stomach the theft of our very country. And these idiots are being able to get away with whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want. It's just ridiculous.
Did you hear that Governor Newsom of California, there's a organization in California trying to get him impeached? It has over 1 million signatures now to try and get him recalled, impeached. I think it's the same thing. And there's actually a couple of election cases going on in California because people are claiming that there was a lot of inconsistencies with that. And the reason I'm bringing this up is not to say Trump won California. He probably did win California, but the reason I'm bringing this up is to see that kind of opposition in California of all places. It's kind of cool as far as I'm concerned.
Well, yeah, I mean, according to some things, some threads, some details of some things that I've read, and then I think all of us have read. Maybe anyone listening, if you've read, I'm sure you know that. I mean, according to what what some have said is that California normally would have been taken if it wasn't for the mail-in ballots, of course. So, this is something else interesting and really, of course, to remind everybody to watch what Biden does if he is inaugurated, if that actually happens. Part of me does still think that will actually not happen. Part of me, just a small part of me, still believes that. But Biden to take office amid lowest troop levels in Iraq and Afghanistan in 2 decades.
Biden's a warmonger. They'll all be back. Give it a year.
And so for him to immediately jump into office and then send everybody back, but I love our military and hail to you guys out there. And for anyone who's enjoying their time with their family now, enjoy it now. Enjoy it while you can, because that may just be stripped away from you immediately.
Yeah. The things he wants to do, he wants a 2-week lockdown of the entire country. That means no pay, no work. Some small businesses, that'll be the final stab in the back that finishes them off. He wants to mess with Social Security. He wants to mess with 401k. Give it a year or two, and he's going to have way more than just the Republicans mad at him. I'm just saying, just give it a year or two. I could see him getting impeached. Hey, what is up, Jacqueline Ellis? Thanks for stopping by.
Let's see. Hey, Jacqueline, how's it going? Thanks for joining the re-stream. With what we have available. Have you looked into who's getting pardoned? There's a lot of people listed here. There's on the Donald.win. Trump will pardon over 100 people tomorrow. Let's make sure Julian Assange is on that list. And you have to forgive me, I don't remember who he is, but he's right here on the Donald.win. So
I don't remember either.
Let's see what the comments here say. I just can't remember who. I remember his face. Okay, Russia too. Russia was a legend. Too bad they took his guns. Okay, I have to look him up. Sorry,
So it
guys.
definitely won't be a Buffalo Bill getting pardoned. Trump's probably like, I can't believe this guy's asking me for pardon.
I still want to see Snowden. I want to see Snowden pardoned. He's one of the people who was the big, he was one of the, they all want Snowden they want to eat him for lunch, almost as much as they wanted Flynn.
Have you seen that movie? And if
yeah,
you have,
the Netflix movie,
is it highly accurate or is it biased?
It's pretty, I mean, it seems pretty accurate, and I haven't done enough research to know for sure, but I do know that they kind of leans left, of course, because it's on Netflix. But I mean, I'm not sure that he was so gung ho about Obama, but they make him seem like Snowden loves Obama. Like they make it seem like he's like Snowden was like, I really loved Obama, but he really disappointed me, and it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
City of Jefferson all the way.
I guess she's in California, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
and that's, dude, I would celebrate. I would celebrate with a bottle of something if Newsom was ousted. I would.
Yeah.
My gosh, that guy is a criminal. He is a scary person. That guy.
They had 90,000 votes or signatures in the first 2 days, I believe. That's how much people hate him.
He was one of the people who, one of the many celebrities / elitists / power hungry warmongers who have constantly been getting caught doing the opposite of their stupid mandate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
100
people pardons. I'm just trying to think of 100 people that could be in there for small crimes that could be pardoned.
Dude.
Wait. Lil Wayne?
Is he in there?
Lil Wayne's in prison? I thought Lil Wayne died, or am I thinking of someone else?
Outgoing president is expected to issue up to 100 pardons and commutations on his final full day in office this week through a pardon for himself. Though a pardon for himself is not expected to be included on the finalized list. So I personally...
He can pardon himself?
Well, that's been in a lot of the questions and a lot of people on a lot of people's list kind of wondering. I mean, he could technically, right?
I think he should.
And so that leads me to believe there must be something that we don't know, or at least that we're not seeing yet. If he's pardoning this many people but has not pardoned himself yet, there's something we don't know, or maybe I don't know. I mean, we've seen both Giuliani and is it the pillow guy? What's his name? Lynn?
The My Pillow guy. You know
Lindell.
about that?
Secret message? Yeah. Well, there's Lindell and Giuliani have both been seen at the White House recently. And I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up on our president. I'm not giving up yet.
I see the headlines now. The My Pillow guy and President Trump team up to save the world. You would have thought. But the revolution doesn't begin because everybody has his pillows and they overslept their alarms.
There's tons of pillow jokes on Twitter now, and it's
you know what it does. You know what else doesn't add up? Kamala Harris just today resigned from her Senate seat.
Okay, see, that was the other.
Why did she wait so long? What did she think could happen before now that she would have waited? That she waited so long to not give up her seat?
I think it's because simply just the fact that there's been so much contest in the election for so long, and that's why. And her giving up obviously means that she's gained a certain amount of confidence in her decision.
But she's to the point now where she thinks they got away with it, so she's finally gave it up.
Yeah, he's pardoning Lil Wayne. Pleaded guilty.
I didn't know he was in jail. He's a famous rapper.
Well, he pleaded guilty in federal court for possession of a loaded handgun. It's, okay, I'm guilty. I had a loaded handgun, and we're gonna be pleading guilty for being a Trump supporter, and we're gonna be thrown into concentration camps. That's what they all want.
You know what Trump should do? You know how Trump's been declassifying everything, over the past week, Hunter Biden, et cetera, et cetera. Trump on Tuesday should pardon he should get a record of everybody that voted for him and pardon all 74 million Trump supporters in one day. And just sit there signing papers all day. He's like, you want to put these guys in jail just because they voted for me? I'll sign 74 million signatures in one day. Don't doubt it. I will. And he pardoned 74 million people in one day.
Either that or arrest our horrible government for
that would be easier.
For turning our government into a criminal organization, which is what it is now. That's what it is. It is a criminal organization now. And they literally, it's literally the Dark Justice League flushing out Superman. That's what it is.
Here's how I look at it. Italy sent their affidavits over on the 6th. It was ignored. The DNI sent their Chinese interference report to them on the 7th. Congress ignored it. It's like, how many things are they going to ignore, actual evidence, or how much of that are they going to ignore before we start considering it to be treason? You can't just shove this stuff to the side and then call people idiots.
Or just mention Russia and everybody freak out, like this situation here. Harrisburg woman may have tried to sell Pelosi's laptop to Russia. Investigating whether a Harrisburg woman entered the Capitol January 6th. So this leads me to believe maybe the laptop is... This makes me think the laptop's, someone has it that shouldn't have it, right? I mean, they're literally saying they're trying, I don't know.
Before anybody asks, I do not know her. I'm wondering if I find her, if they will pay me. Is there a giant reward if you find her?
Former romantic partner claimed Williams stole the device with the intent to send the computer device to a friend in Russia, who then planned to sell the device to Russia's foreign intelligence service. This is a sworn affidavit. Oh gosh, I don't know if that's. I mean, if it's the FBI, but I don't know if that's real. All they do is want to try to they're trying to demonize Russia and try to, because the slander has happened for so many years of here, you hear Russia, you think Trump, and that's what all these idiots think.
I'll tell you, man, people these days, how many times are going to tell these people, keep your personal relationships out of Capitol riots?
Okay, so
I don't even know what to say anymore.
Yeah.
We got a shaman that raided DC. We got BLM that raided DC. We got Antifa that raided DC. We got Trump supporters that were just standing there, pulling them off. Let's see. We have now we have Russian spies that raided DC, and meanwhile the cops just left them all walking. But it's our fault. Let's get into some good news here. Are you ready for that?
Absolutely, man. I was actually just going to really quickly, I was trying to pull this up and it's not sharing for some. Oh, there we go. Good. Just really quickly. Happy Martin Luther King Day, everybody. What a great man this guy was, as far as what he did in this world. He did some amazing things, but here's the comparison, right?
I just want to say, and I'm sure this is what the article is about, to the left is what he stood for. To the right is not what he stood for. The people to the right, he put it this way, Martin Luther King Jr. would not want what they're doing to the right. He even made it publicly known that what you're seeing to the right cannot happen because it'll only make matters worse. And since they've started this, it has only made matters worse. It has only worsened their cause. It has only made people not want to support them. I mean, how could you support what you're seeing on the right? How could you support that?
It actually reversed a lot of in a lot of situations what most people have deemed. And Salty Cracker said it so many times. People of the late 80s, early 90s, maybe in their Generation X / millennials, tend to be the least racist ever in the history of the United States, at least as far as we know, what's ever is assumed as far as our knowledge is concerned. That's what it is. And I agree with him tenfold on that. And here they are just totally flipping the script and switching it around and making, and just trying to recreate it. Once again, they have to recreate it like they have to recreate all of the race hoax or the hate crimes and all that stuff as well.
If they would have carried on what you see Martin Luther doing on the left, if they would have carried that on till now, you would have seen a lot of change. But everything you've seen on the right, it's reversed. It's reversing everything that Martin Luther King Jr. did. They're hurting their own cause. And just so we're clear, a lot of this is pinned on BLM. A lot of it might be Antifa.
Right.
They show up at the same time. It's hard to distinguish the two. They give each other a bad name. The point is, is you can't do on the right if you expect to get anywhere. And honestly, in today's world, in what is it, 2021, the way the government's treating all of us, I'm starting to think no matter what color you are, we're all the minorities. If you're not the top 1% elite, we're all, no matter what color you are starting to get treated like like we're scumbag lowlights. You talked about in your last podcast, like if you're not them, you're not human. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's happening to all of us. I mean, it's a sad world.
Martin Luther King Jr. advocated for peaceful protests and against violence and rioting, sentiments that do not wholly align with the agenda and past actions of BLM. Mm-hmm. The civil rights activists also expressed a partiality for democratic socialism and said he understood the deep emotions that drive rioting in the United States. Succumb to the temptation of using violence in our struggle, unborn generations will be recipients of a long and bitter night, of a long and desolate night of bitterness. And our only legacy to the future will be an endless reign of meaningless chaos. And this reminds me, if anyone gets a chance, if you get a chance, go to band.video, which is basically Alex Jones's YouTube. It's the YouTube of Alex Jones. And he interviews, I might actually clip some of this interview. It's amazing. It's the original guy who originally put together the Black Panthers. And he just basically calls out the left for all the lies and all the deceit and all the bullshit. It's fantastic.
If the African Americans want change, it starts, here we go again, it starts in politics. You know, if they really want change, you cannot have the Democrats ruling their cities. You cannot have the Democrats that have ignored them for years ruling the country. But here we are again. They got a lot of their votes. There were so many campaigns that went on to try and pull that kind of vote away from them. And it worked to a good extent. Trump had a huge amount of African American support. That's where it starts. You get better leaders in the cities, you immediately start to see things becoming better for African Americans, minorities, and all people. I mean, we live in a world today where we all need to be on the same side because there's only one true enemy, and that's the people at the top that are trying to silence all of us. They don't care what race you are. They only care if you have money and power. We need to band together as, you know, we're all on the same side here. We need to stop these race wars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, because going into the future, they don't care what race you are. And because of that, we're on the same side here. We fight for freedom, we fight for equality, and we all need to get together because there's a lot coming in the future.
And allow me to reiterate, I just want to quote Vincent James from the Red Elephants, and he specifically pointed this whole thing out. The whole thing is disguised as Marxism and racism. It's the racism, Marxism thing, that's all like a facade. Because it's what lies behind it. What lies behind all that is financing, and all these things are big corporations, and those large corporations have destroyed the smaller businesses, and there's no chance for them. All these things, and they're supporting everything that does that destroys the middle class and destroys everyone on the bottom. So that's not communist. Like a communist takeover would literally be the people rising up and actually doing something and actually, you know, making everything a part of the state, right? That would be an actual communist takeover. Like it's disguised as a communist takeover. It's not a communist takeover. They disguise it with Marxism and pretending that that's what it is, that their ideology, and they may be, you know, funded by the CCP and all these things, but it's actually not. That's the thing. That's the one thing I want to drive home to everybody here today, is that it's not a communist takeover. It's big corporations disguising it as such. So it's not a communist takeover. It's literally the big corporations taking over. And for any of these idiots, if you ever have an argument with anyone on Twitter, just explain you are on the side of like Bezos. You know that, right? And so for them, anyway, they just need to know that they don't get it. They just don't. They'll never get it. They'll never ever get it. They're so clouded.
Exactly. Still people on Facebook calling Trump supporters the Trump cult.
It's just there's.
You hear that? Don't even begin to try and talk to them.
It's just silly. During that whole time, people were changing their own profile photo to Trump and saying we are all Trump, and so of course that egged him on. But here we are, Republican Senator says he may may very well have committed political suicide. And here they are. I mean, they all did it to themselves. They're going to all lose. I mean, I hope that everyone would make that decision to just destroy the Republican Party at this point, because they're absolute idiots. They're absolutely disgusting, and they just all need to be removed.
I saw a flag online, and it was like an American flag, but in the middle it had like a lion, and it said the MAGA Party, and it was so perfectly done. It just got me thinking. It's like, if Trump created the so-called MAGA Party, which he's constitutionally allowed to do, I mean, we have so many parties that no one even heard of. But if he did that, you would have 74 million people instantly leaving the Republican Party and joining the MAGA Party, which would immediately give him more power than them. Can you imagine that?
Well, the problem is, this is the problem that I see with any of this, is that how are we to trust the system at this point at all? I mean, and I've been saying this from the very beginning. If Trump is removed, if they remove him, whatever happens there, it doesn't matter. There's nothing that we can do if we follow the law and we vote for him in 2024. There's absolutely no way they'll let him back in. Even, I mean, anyone that's part of that party, they'll literally just try to label them all terrorists. Anyone in the MAGA party is a terrorist, blah, 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 blah. So, and it just,
that's why he needs to form his own party. I feel like
it
would be better off in the long run. People don't trust the Republic. After the 6th, people don't trust the Republican Party anymore. I feel like he could completely destroy them and put them in their place. And then, only then will they realize how important it was to follow him. But too late.
They don't trust the Republic or the Republican Party. That's the problem. Yeah. As long as they have those Dominion machines, as long as they still hold the stupid, I mean, they want to enhance the amount of mail-in ballots, and it's like, it's so effing obvious. It's literally written on the wall. We can see exactly what they did. And it's so obvious and so prevalent for us to not even know. Trump issues executive orders to protect law enforcement, add names to it, but that doesn't mean anything if the law enforcement and those National Guard of American Heroes is in favor of Biden and against us. So none of that matters at all. That's the problem that I see with this here. It's a wonderful thing when you think about it. Yay. I love the police. I love our military. I absolutely love them. But if they are all going to be flipped, and on Biden's side, Biden is an illegal dictator at this point.
Yep. I just want to say congratulations to President Trump. He signed a proclamation today for National Sanctity of Human Life Day 2021, a proclamation by the President of the United States of America. Every human life is a gift to the world, whether born or unborn, young or old, healthy or sick. Every person is made in the holy image of God. The Almighty Creator gives unique talents, beautiful dreams, and a great purpose to every person. On National Sanctity of Human Life Day, we celebrate the wonder of human existence and renew our resolve to build a culture of life where every person of every age is protected, valued, and cherished. And he actually received the Malachi Award today. And the Malachi Award is given by Operation Rescue every year to recognize individuals who sacrificially work to advance the cause of protecting the preborn. During President Trump's administration, he has done more to protect the unborn lives than any other president in U.S. history. And they gave him that award.
And on top of that, being nominated for the Nobel Prize 3 times. Was it 3 times? It was 3 times, wasn't it? He was nominated 3 times, right? Or was it twice? Was it only twice?
It was 3 times, and the voting didn't happen yet. It's for 2021.
Okay.
I mean, we're in 2021. It happens sometime this year. Think about this, though. The same week he was impeached again by the House, he's also getting an award for being an all-around good citizen and protector of freedom. You know what I'm saying here? It's just like the last one.
Yeah.
I think the last one, he got impeached, and then like shortly after he was being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. It's, oh my word. And people don't think there's double standards going here, a little bit of bias. So go ahead.
It's just about the lies. I mean, he has been about the truth from the very beginning, and because he was telling the truth, that's why they hated him. Sorry, go ahead. That's all I was going to say.
I was going to get into the good information.
Yeah, go ahead.
Me,
please do.
so this is
really before we do, just I want to get this stupid photo out of here. So I just wanted to quickly read it. The title here. No, this is Rails at Twitter. I don't know who that. I don't know her. I'm not familiar with her. She's from MSNBC, but it says apparently railing against Twitter. You need to be shut down. You have destroyed this country. I agree with her in that. I agree with that. I just haven't read that article yet, so I'm not familiar with her. I don't know her very well. Anyway, but that's what they've done. They have destroyed this country. They literally have.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead.
Oh, I've seen today that Twitter has lost billions of dollars and their stocks have dropped even further. I don't know the exact numbers though. I forgot to look into it, but that's what I've seen on as I was scrolling through. So this is from the DNI intelligence. China sought to influence 2020 U.S. election. Director of National Intelligence assesses. Director of National Intelligence, DNI, and this released Sunday, by the way, John Ratcliffe assessed that China interfered in the 2020 federal elections according to a letter transmitted to Congress. In the letter, PDF Ratcliffe alleges that intelligence about China's election interference was suppressed by management of the CIA, which pressured analysts to withdraw their support for the view. Citing a report by the intelligence community analytic ombudsman Barry Zuloff, the director of national intelligence, said some analysts were reluctant to describe China's actions as election interference because they disagreed with the policies of President Donald Trump. The Washington Examiner published Ratcliffe's letter and the report on January 17th, 10 days after publishing an original report on the documents. The ODNI did not respond to requests from the Epoch Times. Based on all available sources of intelligence with definitions consistently applied and reached independent of political considerations or undue pressure that the People's Republic of China sought to influence the 2020 U.S. federal elections, Ratcliffe wrote. The report by Zuloff, the intelligence community analytic, was sent to Congress on January 7th. So they had this on January 7th, alongside an intelligence community assessment of interference in the 2020 election. So they sent all of this from the report to Congress on the 7th. They ignored it. In the report, Zuloff states the analysts working on Russia and China applied different standards to the reporting on election interference. While labeling Russia's activity as clear election interference, the analysts were reluctant to do the same for China. So basically, they sent this assessment, the long-awaited report on interference, according to Trump's new law that was needed. They sent it to Congress on the 7th, and again, it was ignored. And DNI's pretty much, according to this report, is claiming that China did indeed interfere with our election. But as far as the intelligence committees are concerned in the CIA, they were trying very hard to label it all as Russia and were reluctant to label anything involving China as interference. Now, this is from the DNI. It is a government agency. This is an official document, and we probably still aren't allowed to be talking about it, but whatever. It's official. So, I mean, you can't silence the truth.
And once again, I'm not your pusher man of hopium, everybody. I am definitely not, but I'm going to say this one time. When everybody was questioning the national emergency that was declared in September of 2018. If anyone remembers that, Executive Order 13959. Okay, so this was declared in September, and it was declared and it was specifically about foreign interference. That I mean, I did a whole video on it and read the entire thing and detailed explanation of what they could do, what they can do from it, and everything. So this leads me to believe a little bit of more hope. The reason why is simply this, is because the one thing that they were waiting for was the DNI, and that's what everything was resting on for Executive Order 13959. That was the very stipulation for him to act on it was the DNI doing an investigation and letting him know about it. That once again, the quote unquote deadline for that was December. I think it was literally December 10th or something. But the point is that I'm just referencing that. I'm not giving hopium. but some of that does lead me to believe this, because the DNI he was the one who we were waiting on. We were waiting on him. And for him to bring this out now, I don't know, something to think about. In
his report, he says one of the reasons why it took so long to get it out is because the other intelligence agencies that still have connections to the Obama intelligence, of the 8 years Obama was in there, he said were purposely not wanting to cooperate because of everything it had in there regarding China, and it supports Donald Trump, and yada yada yada. That's why it took so long to get out.
And all of these crazy people in government right now are complicit in this. They're behind it. They're part of it. Mm-hmm. And for him to declassify all these things and then just leave, dude, you guys, I'm sorry. I'm not crazy.
Go ahead.
No, I was just literally going to say, I'm not trying to, get everybody to believe that he will do something, because I don't know for sure. We don't know, but I'm not losing hope, you guys. I'm not. Yeah. F it. I'm not. Go ahead. Yeah. Sorry, what were you going to say? Hello, Babelina. Hello, Jacqueline. Thank you, wonderful women, for hanging out with us. Heard there's big, huge planes flying around the Florida coast. Yeah, that's of course maybe to welcome Trump in his exit ceremony. Right, he's having an exit ceremony in Florida right now, and this is the live coverage of it. This is the exit ceremony right here.
I think that's Biden supporters trying to find their way to DC. They're a little lost.
So Babelina says, I keep hearing something up in the sky. And so those might be military planes, because the military is everywhere right now, because they're fearful of the horrible, horrible terrorist Trump supporters, right? Because that's what they are. That's what all Trump supporters are. We're all terrorists. I might as well. I'll probably be hauled away and put in jail for being a Trump supporter in the next 2 years. Within the next 2 years, yeah, and dude, I'm very interested to see what will happen there. And meanwhile, Texas might secede. Well, while people make fun of Texas for it, Texas might secede with several other places.
What's up, Rick? It doesn't work out to change the farewell speech that Melania, the first lady. Yeah. Did you hear she had a farewell speech?
Yeah, I didn't see it yet, but I just saw that. I saw that it happened. I haven't heard it. I haven't listened to it, but
Trump can't give a farewell speech because he's banned on everything.
Two systems. Let's see.
What's up, Stephen?
Stephen Cole says 2 systems of justice in the U.S.
I think what he means is there's a double standard. You're a Trump supporter, you're treated differently than if you're a Democrat. So,
I mean, there's only so long that this criminal organization that has now taken the place of our government that will last. I mean, there's only a matter of time that'll last. And I know that it's looking grim, you guys, but I personally, I'm not going to give up yet. I'm not going to give up until it's official. I'm sorry. I just can't.
And there's a way
that still believes that he knows that he's leaving us high and dry. Mm-hmm. He knows that. He has to know that.
And there's a way forward. It's not over even if Biden's still in there. We'll do a different stream about that, but it might take 10 years, but we will eventually get our country back. And it might get worse before it gets better. But if Biden does what he wants to do, I could see all hell breaking loose just within a year, because people are going to get to the point where, well, they're already to the point where they can't take it. But just trust me, it might get worse before it gets better. We will eventually get our country back. So according to my friend in the military, all it takes is for states to start succeeding, and boom, there's no reversing it.
And this is while this is happening, here they are saying all Trump supporters are terrorists for storming the Capitol with our riots. This is what happens when you get spoiled brats with horrible parents.
Have they ever retaken Seattle that supposedly was taken over by rioters, and they just kind of backed off and left them do it? You know what I'm talking about? It was months ago.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that was, and then soon they rebuilt another CHOP, and I can't remember where it was, but here we are. Antifa have protested multiple Powell's Books locations. Of course, this is for Andy No's book, of course. They're for banning books, which is right out of the 1984 stuff and right out of Fahrenheit 451. If anyone's read that book or seen that old film from the 60s, and they actually remade it on HBO just like 3-4 years ago. It was a remake of the Fahrenheit 451. If you're not familiar, are you familiar with that story, Kyle?
I'm not.
So it's another classic novel that was just about the future and the controlling of information. And people aren't allowed to have books, so they burn all the books. You're not allowed to own a book, and so people literally memorize books and become books because they aren't allowed to. You aren't allowed to have a piece of paper. I mean, that's the way it is in China right now, and this is the beginning of that. When you ban a book like this, you ban someone for telling the truth, for exposing criminals. If you try to ban a book, and it's actually succeeded in several stores. Several stores stopped selling it because of their doing it because they're shutting down entire small businesses. They're the antithesis of everything that's supposed to be liberal and left wing, or at least catering to somewhat of kind of small businesses. That's what it used to be. Anyway, bullshit.
I don't even know if I can say his name on stream, but I'm going to. So when Hitler won the peaceful election in Austria, he didn't take over Austria by force. He won through a peaceful election because of the censorship and the people didn't really know what was going on in Germany. He came in, Germany officially took over Austria via peaceful election. And according to this very good speech from a lady that lived through all that in Austria, she said that he came in, seemed like a normal guy. Everything seemed fine. Everything seemed like a normal election. Eventually, the people they had in their schools were taken out and replaced with high SS operatives, whatever, people that were loyal to Trump, and before they knew it, people that were loyal to Hitler were implemented in every part of their society to the point where they would do whatever they were told. Then eventually, they were told that they had to have a radio. Every house had to have a radio. Next, they were told that they were only allowed to listen to certain things that they wanted them to listen to. And then eventually Hitler would have a public speech in Germany like once a week, and they were actually forced. Every night at the same time, every week, they were forced to turn it to that radio station, and they were legally forced to listen to his speech.
Wow.
It was against the law if they did not tune in to listen to his speech. They were forcing them to listen to their propaganda. The schools were indoctrinating their kids because of the people that were put in there that were loyal to Hitler. And I just want to say that the same thing is happening here with the people they're implementing in our schools, the censorship of speech, places like CNN that's trying to get Newsmax taken down for no other reason other than they can't control them. And they want people to only have one option, and that's the state media propaganda option. They want that to be the only option you have to get your news. You're seeing it here. And people that's lived through that over there have cried up and down, have sworn, and have tried to tell people that they know what's happening. They see it. They've already lived through it. They've already seen it happen. They've tried to warn people. And people to the left in California and places like that do not want to listen. They will wait. It doesn't get to a point where they will eventually realize what they did, but it'll be too late.
Maybe they'll never realize. Like, I think
maybe they want it. They're crazy.
I think a lot of people like this douche here. We're not even going to listen. We're not even going to give him his voice because he's a douche. But here, maybe we should listen to him because we're supposed to be open and honest to what people have to say. But right here, I mean, he in himself is calling Annie Knows a terrorist book. He calls it a terrorist. And once again, it's about shifting blame, right? This whole narrative, everything, it's about shifting blame. It's about not taking accountability for your own actions. He's blaming the loss of business, right? And these bookstores getting shut down on him.
Person responsible because of you, Andy. No, this is all because of you, Andy. No,
all because of you. And he's the one standing in front of the store.
Here we are now.
See, that's what a douche. You idiot douchebag. I hope they get you first. I hope the UN soldiers get you first, you son of a bitch.
Can I compare Star Wars to what's going on? I want to give a kudos to George Lucas.
Yeah.
So, because, a lot of Star Wars really was really related to what happened in World War II Germany and everything. But anyways, Episode 3. It starts out in Phantom Menace where everybody was told to believe, the Jedi were the most lovable people in the universe. Everybody loved the Jedi. They seen them as like angels, protectors. The Emperor takes power, or Palpatine takes power. By episode 3, what happened? He had most of the galaxy through propaganda. He had most of the galaxy agreeing to his hunting down of the Jedi. He had most of the galaxy hating the Jedi. He turned them into a bad thing through manipulation. What's happening here? I could see by the end of the 4 years Biden's in there, I could see him having the Trump party or the Trump supporters. I could see him having us on the terrorist list. That's what I'm getting to. Just based off of manipulation and labeling people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I know it's a movie, but exactly how it happened there. I could see the entire 74 million people being a terrorist group, or at least on a list or something.
Yeah, Order 66 on our asses, right? That's what it'll be, I guess, right? Rick Zacher, I apologize, Rick, my only hope is that our military is going to be in charge of things and will run a new election for the leader of the country. Dude, that's, I sure hope so. I mean, part of me thinks that's, that would be amazing. If that actually happened, I might just excrete tears of joy. I might.
Yeah. Did you know that the Republican Party actually tried to do a full audit of the entire election, which probably would have gave it to Trump? Every single Republican voted yes to do it. Every single Democrat voted no, so it never happened. And I can tell you right now, if it would have happened, we wouldn't be at this point. The country wouldn't be divided, and we would all be unified. I kept saying, if they agree to a full audit of the entire election and with the military overseeing it, and it still comes out as Biden, we'll back off. Fair election. He won fair and square. It is what it is. I don't get why those crazy people voted for him, but again, you proved to us that it wasn't rigged. They wouldn't agree to it. Not one Democrat agreed to it. What are you hiding? Bipartisanly, you should want to make sure the election was fair. And because they didn't agree to the audit, that's exactly why we're currently in the situation we're in. There's no unity, not because of Trump supporters, not because of Trump, but because the Democrats refuse to allow the process to take place for people to get answers. Instead, they stooped to the level of not allowing that to happen, and they went one step further and called us all idiots and baseless conspiracy theorists. They were the ones that wouldn't agree to a full audit to make sure once and for all if what we were saying was true or not.
It's really sad. So all they had to do was certify signatures. That's all they had to do. Stephen Cole says 99.9% did not enter the building. I think he's talking about the Capitol siege, right? Because it was sieged when they went into the building in single file after they opened it up for them. I mean, being beckoned by secret. Well, people say it's Secret Service. I don't think it's actually been really defined as to who was beckoning them in, allowing them to go in, but for them to do that anyway, it's just absolutely ridiculous.
So far, they've arrested a shaman wearing bull horns and a fur coat with barely any clothes on. They've arrested a BLM activist that doesn't want to be associated with another BLM group because apparently there's different subdivisions that don't like each other. But yet it's our fault. It's all Trump supporters.
And Stephen, I agree with you there. I agree with you. I think that's what they were trying to do. Like, I mean, if you see that douche, he's actually from my state. He's a douche. The guy who got in and he's like the most famous guy. I can't remember is it Sullivan? Yeah, Sullivan. So I guess I didn't realize that that's what he wanted. I didn't realize that he wanted to burn down. But you see, in all of them, they're just trying to rile people up and get people more angry, and they don't know the true thing of what we're actually fighting for. They don't really know what we're actually fighting for. The people, real Trump supporters, know what it is that we're actually fighting for. The people that are jumping in there and portraying themselves as Trump supporters have no idea what they've given up already. They have no idea that they've already surrendered their own freedoms to everything, and then they've sold their soul to the devil himself.
A lot of these people are anti-government. They don't want anybody rolling them, Biden or Trump. So, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, all the different groups that supposedly we just walked in there. Like I told you before the stream, I'm surprised the Jehovah's Witness didn't walk in saying, "Have you heard the good news?" I'm surprised the Cherokee tribes, the Navajo tribes. I mean, how many people were involved in that just were able to go in for different? They all had different motives. That's the funny thing. none of it was organized. Like the 3 different groups that they've arrested so far, they all had different motives. Like they all were after something different, and they all met at the same place and just decided to go for it. They're so scared of a guy wearing bullhorns that 25,000 National Guard are currently in D.C. It's funny if he's in court and he's like 25,000. Yeah, you're gonna need more than that. Take me down.
This is a great meme, you guys. At least Trump did it. At least we got rid of Trump. Yeah. Freedom. I was gonna bring that up. Someone I actually had that pulled up and I was trying to find it. It's the article, the showcasing of Kamala Harris's lie, Kamala Harris's pretend story about freedom. You remember this story, right? Remember this, Kyle?
What's up? Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
Warning civilians.
Well, this is coming up in the news again too, and I was going to try to pull it up, but I couldn't. I had a bunch of things pulled up here, and I couldn't find it. But this is, of course, here we are. 1 billion plus riot damage is the most expensive in insurance history. That was September 16th. That was only in September.
Yeah, they should go back and look at the books because I heard Bill Clinton used to have some pretty wild parties in D.C. when he was president.
Yeah.
Kyle Heckman.
Let's see if we can catch some of this.
It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as First Lady of
Any coded messages in this?
I have been inspired
Can
by
you hear it okay?
incredible Americans across our country who lift up our communities
Can you hear the audio?
Yep.
Okay.
through their kindness and courage, goodness and grace. The past 4 years have been unforgettable. As Donald and I conclude our time in the White House, I think of all of the people I have taken home in my heart and their incredible stories of love, patriotism, and determination. I see the faces of brave young soldiers who have told me with their pride in their eyes how much they love serving this country. To every service member and to our incredible military families, you are heroes, and you will always be in my thoughts and prayers. I think of all of the members of law enforcement who greet us everywhere we go. At every hour of every day, they stand guard to keep our communities safe, and we are forever in their debt.
If anyone, if you're a lefty, if you're a righty, anyone sees this as this is a dictatorship now. If this isn't just a way to deflect and try to make everybody think that our president can't even speak. Well, maybe he could. Maybe he could, and they would allow it. But I think that's the reason why she's the one who's doing this, because our president can't even be heard.
This was put on her YouTube channel because Trump's banned from. So I'm assuming that's why.
I have been moved by children I have visited in hospitals and foster care centers. Even as they fight difficult illnesses.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Challenges.
I'm sorry. I have to
bring such a joy to everyone they meet.
This is killing me, you guys. I'm sorry. I can't watch it. It's just too painful. This is just painful as hell.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I can't do it. We gotta. But let's see. Steve Cole says, "Freedom, freedom." A Smooth Groove says, "Nancy about to get free blowouts for life." Cornrows are extra. Oh, that's priceless. Thank you. Thanks so much. You guys are such badasses. You badass patriots. I love y'all, man.
I have some more good news. We could use some good news. See ya, Bella. Most beautiful first lady ever.
Ciao.
Oh,
ciao. Same ciao. It's Italian. It's you didn't miss much, Isaac. We've just gone over most of the negative news, and we're trying to find some of the positive news. I was saying specifically that I want to see Snowden pardoned. And one of my, you know, I'm not, once again, I am not trying to give hopium. I'm sorry, if anyone thinks I'm trying to get people's hopes up, I want to just say one thing is that the president hasn't pardoned himself yet. And he should, because the first thing they're going to do is come after him and try to put him in jail. So,
and once he's a private citizen, they could get away with that. So he needs to.
I mean, something needs to happen there, and that's part of one of the things that's giving me hope, because if for him to not do that, he's pardoning all these people, and for him to not pardon himself, maybe it's against the Constitution. I don't know if there's anything in there about it, but people were questioning that the other day. It's that he hasn't done that, and the other thing was simply that the DNI is coming forward with a lot of stuff. Right, the DNI has come forward with evidence. Right.
Yeah. Yes. Here's what I want to see with the pardons. Okay. Tomorrow he pardons all 74 million people that voted for him, pardons himself, dumps all of the Obama administration classified documents from 8 years, mic drop, walks out. He's like, I'm done. And then just the moonwalk out of the White House.
Joe Biden
gets in a fighter jet and just takes off. Just doesn't need a pilot. Just gets in the fighter jet, puts his pilot on.
You want to be effing hilarious? Like Trump just jumps on a fighter jet or like a shuttle and flies to the moon with Space Force. I don't know.
I'm now moon president. That's another thing that makes me sad. Yeah. That whole thing about the astronauts going to the moon in a time where we could probably actually make it now. I know a lot of people don't think we made it. I'm not saying about that. I'm talking about now. I think we actually could make it now.
Right. Yeah,
and it's not going to happen, because if they allow that to happen while Biden is president, they'll only be making Trump look good. So it's not going to happen. That's why NASA never gets anything done.
Let's see. Stephen Cole says Joe Biden will be the puppet for a short time, the ones that pull his strings and will be running things. Yeah, like Kamala. We got to make shirts that have Kamala's face on it and just say freedom. You got to just do that.
Look really closely in his last speech when Biden looked like he was dozing off. Zoom in really closely. They try and hide it with the light, but I seen strings, man. I seen strings hanging from his arms. Zoom in really closely. Camilo is up there, and he's like a puppet.
He's literally being held by. I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if they get him in and then the deep state kills him. Sorry, I'm not saying that that's real or anything. I'm just merely speculating that they get rid of him just so Kamala can run things. Behind deep state, Isaac says, behind deep state types all over the world are dying under mysterious circumstances, including red shields, lots of jumping off penthouse balcony type stuff. Okay, that's interesting.
Just that time of the month, I guess.
Isaac, so did you send me an email? Send me an email. I was like, Isaac, we got to do a podcast, man. I'd love to have you on. It'd be such a blast to talk to you, man, because you seem to be extremely hopeful. I think you're one of the most hopeful people in all of this. Multiple world governments have collapsed, and the mainstream media can quack about it. All they can quack about is Sniffy being scarred, and National Guardsmen voted for Trump. So, wow,
Trump brought all this to the light. Uganda just had an election, and before their election, Uganda actually blocked Facebook and Twitter. They shut it down. They didn't want them interfering in their election. Uganda had their election. Their prime minister, or whatever they call him, just won his 6th term, and people are immediately saying it was rigged because of the systems used in their country. Trump brought all this to light. People now in other countries are like, yeah, that happened here. Now that you mention it, yeah, that happened here. He literally opened up the world to what's actually going on. I can tell you right now, he really opened up the world to what's going on with China. China won't be able to get away with anything because people are watching them like a hawk on a rabbit right now.
He really did. You're absolutely right. And I've been saying that ever since. I mean, because I had no idea. I mean, us normies, regular people, I was what constitutes as a normie. I wasn't following politics until I realized that our actual president gave a shit. Like I wasn't following any of this until I realized, oh my gosh, our president actually cares about all of us and really wants us to do well and wants to fix things. And it was amazing to even hear about it. And yeah, I had no idea that no one knew. And you're right. You're absolutely right. He did it. He exposed that.
And this country was booming until the Dr. Wu syndrome took over.
And so, Isaac, please tell us some of your sources that you're talking about. I'd love to hear what you're hearing about world governments falling. I would love to hear, because I want to pull up some articles and see what perhaps Biden, if a prototype of artificial intelligence and clone robotics. I mean, I tell you one thing, that speech was prepared. The speech that he had for the Capitol siege, that was such a plan.
Remember that Trump put in the COVID bill. Trump put in there that within 180 days they have to declassify everything they know in regards to aliens. So maybe in 180 days the aliens will save us. It's Trump's plan all along. That was the whole plan. The aliens are the ones that arrest the government.
If I would be okay, so this is just a funny thing. Imagine this is just imagine. Okay, I'm just imagining. I'm imagining. This is imagination. So Biden and this.
Continue. I don't know what you're laughing about. Continue.
Yeah. So this is imagination. If Biden is not allowed into the White House, Trump gets reinaugurated, and then aliens land to try to stop the fake aliens land to try to stop, and they try to stiff everybody to death. Wuhan clan cream. Karens rule everything around me.
Hail!
Hail!
Hail, Dawn Darkness.
Hail!
Sorry I'm late.
No problem at all, man. Have you been sniffed lately by weird old men?
I don't see any back there besides Kurt Russell.
Warn the civilians. Hide your children.
Oh yeah, no, sorry I'm late, guys. I got a sick dog on my hands, an older dog. He's in pretty bad shape, so I'm trying to nurse him back to health. So, but glad you guys weren't tuned out yet. I made it, at least for the end here.
No, absolutely. We're gonna get out. We'll be just a couple more minutes here, but hail to Snowdub. Thanks for coming, man. TJ says Bill Gates is going to change the way farmers grow crops in America, prepare for a famine. And they've been saying that for a year. If you remember, TJ, I'm sure you probably remember this, but there was a viral video on Twitter, and it was a farmer who was saying, "Wake up, everybody. We are euthanizing chickens like you wouldn't believe." And they were doing that at an enormous rate. This was going on forever. And they were doing it for no reason, of course, the same stupid reason people can't get tires. Oh, you can't. Well, sorry, we can't get your tires because of COVID.
There's also an ammunition shortage. You walk in the stores, the shelves are empty. It's like they just stopped making everything.
Sources are World News. Use Brave browser and DuckDuckGo for search. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Isaac. I appreciate that, because it's sometimes I literally stop myself from Googling things sometimes because I'm like, I know Google's going to lie.
Let me give everybody a little tip. Sorry, Snowdub. You can go on. Just let me give everybody a little tip. Use DuckDuckGo. Set your phone up as DuckDuckGo as your default browser for Safari or whatever you use. Stuff shows up on that doesn't show up on the others. You can set it up. You can enable GPC anti-tracking policies. DuckDuckGo is all about privacy. And for anybody that also wants privacy in their emails, I suggest using Proton Email. It was created by the people at CERN over in Switzerland. They're all about freedom of speech. They also created Proton VPN.
Proton Mail?
Huh?
Is it Proton Mail or Proton?
Yes.
Okay.
Proton Mail. Yep. It's encrypted email.
I'm gonna go for jump. Okay, I might have to delete everything Gmail. This is just these guys. Like, I do not trust Google anymore. Isn't that insane? Yeah. Remember how just be literally like, oh, I don't know anything. Let me Google it, and
right.
and now it's flipped that fast. I mean, that was
what happened to Ask Jeeves? Remember Ask Jeeves? That was around for a long time.
What?
Jeeves?
Remember that? Jeeves? Ask Jeeves?
Then it turned into ask.com. Millennial. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I remember that. I was just making fun of Kyle. No, just teasing him. I envy his youth energy. No, I don't remember. I know what Ask Jeeves was, but
Well, I wanted to touch bases with you guys real quick while I'm here. Do you remember, 4 years ago, the crazy riots that went down in Washington, D.C.? Do you guys remember that?
Yep.
Yeah, there was cars burning, all kinds of crazy stuff that happened. There was a lot of pissed off people that got mad because Hillary Clinton, didn't win. She got the popular vote, so that's what a lot of people were running on. But what I find funny is there was hardly any crazy, police force that was set up for that. And what we're seeing now around all these Capitol buildings, around all the nation, I don't understand. This is the most popular president ever, according to CNN. And he's got more votes in world history. So what's all the precaution for? I figure people be coming out, throwing flowers at this guy's fucking feet.
Yeah, that's another thing that doesn't make sense. He's the first Republic. He has more votes. He got more votes than any sitting president in the Republican Party before him.
Right.
But he's the only one that ever lost. I mean, just common sense tells you stuff doesn't add up. I mean, and Biden got less counties than Hillary, but somehow had like 20 million more. I don't need to go into it's common sense, but we're all called.
He had them in all the right counties. That's the
math is racist. So you guys can't.
Math is above the Democrats.
Yeah, we don't math them. We don't do that math stuff around here.
Because that's total WHITE supremacy.
Right.
And it's just evil, bad stuff. So we should just take it up the butt, like Isaac Newton is saying, or no, let's see. Sorry. Yeah, Isaac Newton says Bill Gates is going to give Fauci a reach around again.
Oh.
Talking about Isaac Newton, the way this whole thing's been going, we're just as likely to throw an apple up, and it's just going to keep going up.
That's not a good version of a reach around either. That's not the kind of reach around I prefer.
Bill Gates is going to give Fauci a reach around it.
Just saying. Yeah.
Google will be an American-owned public utility soon, and that would be amazing if that really happened. I am blown away by your confidence, Isaac. That is amazing to hear, and I'm so glad you're here because it is easy to fall down the doom and gloom path, and I'm not going to let that happen. I still refuse. Still refuse to believe that our president is going to leave us high and dry, because that's what he would be doing if he does leave. Mm-hmm. If he does allow himself to leave, he'd be leaving us high and dry, because any of us that supported him are now going to be treated as terrorists. So.
Did I tell you that the CEO of Gab completely backed up Trump's entire Twitter account? So if he wanted to, he could move over to Gab, and every single tweet he ever tweeted, his channel art, all the information, it's right on Gab. Like it just pulled it right off of Twitter. No one even knows he was doing it.
I think I heard about that actually. It's good because we got archives. Yeah, we need that. We need the archive.
They want him to join Gab now. And the Parler CEO randomly got back on the Parler service a couple of days ago, and he said, "Hello, is this thing on? Can anybody hear me?" Which people said apparently he was able to find other servers, and it might be back up soon. But now we have CNN trying to take Newsmax off of TV, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know how they could get away with that, but who knows?
Right. I can't help but think about my boy Ronald Reagan, from the old days. And, that man, he lived through getting shot. That's how persecuted he was. Something that, the Trumpster didn't have to go through, thank God. But
he was speaking behind bulletproof glass, though, the last time.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead.
Right. No. Yeah, he got pulled off stage one time in a big scare. Yeah. I remember that.
That's because Biden tried to sniff him.
Yeah. Tried to sniff him hard. But anyway, I can't help but think about old Reagan and, just the poetry of his voice and the way that he used to speak to the crowd. And that's the last time we saw a real good red wave. And honestly, I really felt like we were going to see a red wave this time too. Besides the circumstances that happened, you all know what we're talking about. EF, I think are the first letters.
Yeah, Italy did it. Yeah. Italy did everything.
Yeah, if there wasn't no F and EF, then it probably would have been a red wave. And I'm really just disheartened by it, because I really felt like we were living the Reagan years all over again.
Yeah, he gave one of the most chilling and powerful speeches in regards to everything that's currently happening. He warned us about the socialism movement, and he warned everybody way back then. He warned everybody about what would happen if we left to get to this point, and here we are. No one listened to him.
And I'm glad you're talking about that time period, because I've talked to my brother-in-law. He's just a couple of years older than me, so he actually remembers in great detail the changeover from Carter to Reagan.
Right.
And he said literally, like, the economy was so bad. It was so bad when Carter was president. And for all these people to continuously say that Carter was a good, it's like you just don't like facts. You just don't like the truth. You don't like to see what actually happened. The things that the housing market was like in the and here we are. I mean, Trump was against the biggest, craziest thing ever to destroy the economy, and he still made it awesome.
Oh, go look up gas crisis of late 70s. That'll tell you everything you know about what happened with the Carter days.
Yep. This kind of went under the radar, but Trump's administration released a huge article in WhiteHouse.gov showcasing every single thing he accomplished over 4 years. And I'll tell you, put some time aside to read it because, and also back it up because it'll disappear once Biden's in there. It's over 100 pages.
I'm actually gonna do a video on it on my other channel. Everybody, please go. We're going to be going live this week, probably tomorrow on my big channel, tomorrow night. That's my other channel. It'll be a blast. We'll have music and all kinds of stuff. It'll be fun. I made a new music video entitled "They Took All of the Guns," and it might get a shutdown. We'll see. No, I might actually. We'll see what happens with that. But there's also another Trump Happy Trump song. Anyway, Biden administration will have us on hormone blockers soon. Behind the food, it's to make us docile to enjoy the perverted utopia of Gates and Fauci's agenda. Yeah, absolutely. That's why they continuously want to make little kids want to chop off their, So that's what they want to do.
I can't go on hormone therapy, Ben. Look, you know how hard it is to grow out this mustache. This is a manly mustache here.
It's not like the King Tut days where it just was natural. I get you, man.
Right.
Bill Smooth Groove. I love Smooth Groove. You're hilarious, man. Leave a comment. I'll go subscribe to your channel, man. Bill Gates is a lil wuss. Fauci will make him his bitch in the clink. $50.
Wow. I pay to watch that.
Fauci. Dude, oh my gosh. To see both of those mother effers being hauled away in cuffs.
I really did want to see Biden versus Trump like an actual boxing match. That would have been
awesome. I've always said that's how you should decide the president. May the stronger man win.
Yeah.
Didn't Lynn Wood say trial by combat? I think Lynn Wood said trial by combat.
He also said firing squad. He also said
that might have been a little over the top.
He might have been drunk that night and was on a frantic rage drink.
Hey, rage. We've all said it, just not out loud, or at least on social media.
Look at all the people that threatened Trump over 4 years on Twitter. Most of those people are still on there.
No, did you notice that Kathy? What's her bitch? She brought back the picture of her holding his head. Remember how she was her whole career was ruined because she posted that picture back when he first became president, and then we didn't hear from her for a few years. I think she shaved her head, bought a few cats, and then posted the picture again as soon as old Biden's won, I guess.
For her to be, that is like a complete embarrassment. Like for anyone to be holding up the head of someone else, you've got to be joking. And I'm sure that stuff's allowed on YouTube, but for me, it's like that's all allowed on YouTube.
No, it'll be the cover of fucking People magazine next week. You'll see.
Hail Shellback TJC. Hail Patriots. Good to see you here, my good sir. Thanks for joining Shellback. You're a badass.
Hail. Do you mind if I read you?
Right, Ben, because you're not monetized on this one.
Not this. This channel's not monetized. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just going to say, can I read this one article real quick? It's really good news. It's 2 years overdue. But
absolutely. But before you do, let's quickly catch up on some of these comments. The military at every state capital is for when Antifa has an aneurysm over Sniffy in handcuffs. Dude, okay, Isaac, dude, you were the best. I wish
Sniffy.
I wish that would be oh my gosh. And that's what I was that's what I've been hoping for, but oh my gosh, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but dude, I'm with you there, man. I hope that's real. I hope that is real. I really do. Sorry, go ahead.
I hope it happens on Wednesday because that would be total karma. Imagine, it's gonna be live streamed. It's gonna be a virtual thing. So if it happens, it would happen You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I'm missing the Super Bowl.
2 more days for something to happen. Yeah, Shellback. Part of me remains still optimistic in that.
Drop the UFO footage, man. Drop it. Drop that shit, man. Shake up the whole world with that sucker. You know what I mean? It's time. Let's let everybody know we're not alone.
Roswell happened. It wasn't the Russians.
Right. Yeah, it's time to bust that one loose, man. That'll shake up everything, right down to the religious cores.
That's, I mean,
I don't know if we want this, because then they'll be sending welfare to those illegal aliens.
Oh shit! Yeah, they'll be trying to sneak over the border.
Sneak over the border.
They'll be chanting, "Take down the wall" when they fly up to us. Bastards.
We'll need to build a giant bird cage, keep them out.
All these damn aliens jumping out of the UFO, they're just here for free healthcare. They're just for
bird cage for the nation 2024.
When stuff gets beamed down, this lights, it's just them beaming up their free healthcare and then going off.
Sons of bitches. I knew it. That's why they came. That's why they're here.
Didn't you see the crop circle? They're trying to communicate with us, and we're not listening because we're too stupid.
They're always in O's. I think it stands for Obamacare.
I seen a crop circle just a few days ago. It literally said Trump won, but no one will listen to him.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well,
the aliens did it. You weren't wearing your tinfoil hat.
Shut down already? That happened quick.
Well, this is what they want. They want UFO distractions. That's what they want. That's what the left wants. I mean, I don't know if anybody knows this, but that giant bill that went through for the $600 for us and trillions for everybody else, in that bill, did you know that it mandated some members of Congress and people part of the government to talk about UFOs? Did you know that?
Trump did that.
Oh,
he did. Okay.
The UFO community has been pushing him to declassify a bunch of stuff.
Right. He already has some of it, a little bit, not a lot. But
with all the shit going on, he's probably just like, yeah, screw it, throw that in there too. Have you seen there was a big declassification in regards to Roswell and the investigations that actually went on. The Air Force actually had a unit that was investigating UFOs. A big declassification happened in 2017. It was actually from the Pentagon. They released 2 videos that really caught a lot of people's attention. Have you seen the videos, Ben? It's directly from the onboard cameras of the Air Force jets.
Yeah.
You seen it? Okay. So from then to now, a lot of stuff's been declassified. The articles even went as far to say that something unknown did crash in Roswell. The metamaterials were taken to Bigelow Industries, private space company, because he's protected by the Freedom of Information Act.
Right.
So no one could force him to disclose anything. They didn't mention aliens, they didn't mention UFOs, but they did confirm something crashed, but they didn't say what it was. They just said metamaterials. In scientific terms, metamaterials can either mean 2 things. 1, it's an unknown material created in a laboratory. 2, it's from space. So
yeah, I think it's all. I'm just sorry, everybody. I'm gonna expose myself. I think it's all lies. I think the entire UFO thing is all fake. Even though I'm a huge X-Files fan, I love the X-Files.
Me too.
I had the biggest crush on Scully my whole life. Biggest crush on.
You've seen the newer episodes, right? I mean, they're not new anymore, but yeah, I was so happy when they brought that back. But it didn't last long. I mean, they're getting older, but yeah.
Well, the movies were okay too. I didn't mind the movies.
I would binge watch. I binge watched all the older ones because the show's a little before my time. But my dad was a fan, and he got me into it. It's like, yeah, I love this.
Dude, I have to. I'm gonna screenshot that and just love, dude, Isaac. That's just a perfect. I love that so much. I just love that idea. We need God because they want us to remove God from our hearts. That's what they want. When we remove God from our hearts, we have hopelessness and we have fear. And how do people react when we have fear? All we desire is the government to protect us, right?
Look at how much hate and persecution Trump has had to endure for only trying to do the right thing.
Yep.
He has always had the best intentions. He has got nothing but persecution for it. And the persecution's only going to get worse if the Democrats are allowed to carry on.
Well, there's a reason he's the only president in history that had the chance of "We love you." That has never been recorded, as far as I know, has ever been recorded in history for any sitting president.
Mm-hmm. Anybody that loves the country, is very patriotic, that knows what was going on, they would die for Trump right now. That is how. That is the impact he has had on this country.
Very true.
Yeah.
He's one of a kind. I'm glad I got to see him in my lifetime, and there's gonna be a lot of damage done over the next 4 years. But if we turn things around, and maybe we can get him back in there and have him fix it all again. And do another 8 years.
Like I told Ben before you got on, it might take 10 years, but we'll eventually get our country back. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better, but don't lose hope. We'll get there. And Trump's not backing down either. He's going to have a huge influence, even if he's not in there.
It's always darkest before the dawn, folks. And like I was saying before, one of our first streams together, we got 2 years. 2 years to start making changes. You can do it locally. That's where it counts. Help out your community. Start turning, the counties red. You start turning your judges red. You start turning your district red, and that'll just travel. You got to keep it going. It's all grassroots. And what we have to do, honestly, and it's sad to have to say this, but we have to make sure we got so many damn votes out there, no matter what they do, they can't defeat us.
It doesn't matter though. Sorry guys, I'm not trying to do.
We'll just turn the dial on what system even more. They did it in 2016. They just didn't turn it enough because they weren't expecting the movement that Trump created.
That, and sometimes you don't realize what you have until it's gone.
Our
And
main
I think
goal,
a lot of people are going to get woken up over the next couple of years.
Our main goal over the next 4 years should be to stay on our politicians, to remove the entire Dominion system out of our country. You get it out, 2024 might be a little more fair. You're still going to have your normal idiots that think they can get away with the ballot stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But as far as a widespread scale is concerned, we need to get Dominion out of here, and we need to stay on our politicians, because if you get it out of all of the battleground states, 2024 we might have a chance. But if Dominion's still in there, forget it.
I also like to add that, it wasn't all a loss this last election. We actually took a bunch of seats in the House, and I do recall, if not one, I think two House representatives flipped. Went from Demi to Republican because they just got sick of it. You don't see that on the other side. You don't see Republicans flipping the Dems.
And a Republican, what two of the seats that were flipped was in New York and California, two places where you never see it.
And so I'm so glad you brought that up. The reason why I'm glad is because I wanted to bring this about. So Vincent James, once again, Red Elephant's Vincent James, he's been talking about this quite recently, quite a bit. And the reason why we lost and everything, there's so much of it. We lost so much of this is specifically because we don't play. I mean, he didn't use the term play dirty, but the Democrats stick together and they do what it takes to win, whether it's whatever tactics they're using or whatever it is, but they're sticking together. Republicans easily throw each other underneath buses and are easily swayed, easily changed, because they want to be accepted by the left's bullshit. They want to be accepted by it, so they allow all this encroaching to happen, but they shouldn't. And that's the point, is that there has to be people for any of this to change. If we want anything to change at all, we have to have people in Congress that actually want to draw a line somewhere and will stop them from doing it. But everybody's been, with this exposure, part of me is just like, drain everything. Let them all just lose and everything. Real quickly here, I wanted to, Shellback mentioned a specific video about Bill Gates, and is it one of these? I think if it's the one.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Don't show it. It was circulated a year ago. It was hit hard on Facebook. Okay. Completely censored. They're claiming it's fake. Doesn't mean it was fake. But it was hit hard wherever it was. We
all know what his what his agenda is. Some people speculate that he and his wife switched places, or that there's all kinds of funny things about that.
The video, without going into detail, the video was basically Bill Gates talking to the CIA about a new technology he has involving DNA editing and everything. What he claimed is he found the part of the brain that links to religion, and he found a way to be able to tap into that, to take the religious aspect out of a man or woman, because he claimed that religious aspect is what is forcing them to not listen to their superiors. It's what's causing them to be radical. It's what's causing them to not fall in line. It's what's causing them to question everything.
That's some Frankenstein shit right there, because you can't take that out. That's right in the soul, man. That's soul food. You know, that's something that's in the whole body. I don't care how far you dig into the brain. It's always going to be right here. You're born with it.
He thinks he can do anything.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm not exactly religious myself. I'm not the most religious puppet, but I'm spiritual. I am spiritual, and I believe there's something there. So for them to try and take that out, that's not possible. It doesn't matter. The human species has been, you know, praising something of you know, right down to the sun from the caveman days, all the way up to what we believe now. So you can't take that out of the human race. It's right there in our genetic code. Sorry.
This is why so many people are so afraid to get the you know what right now, because of how connected he is to it and the shit they've heard come out of his mouth.
Right.
And I'm right there with you. I agree with you, Isaac. No computers in voting at all. Absolutely. That's and that will never stop. They're never going to stop it, because they're able to sway and change things with the computers. So I mean, for them to, and that's what they should do. They should get rid of computers entirely and just have it all on paper. That's what they should do. They have to.
But they did it when it was just paper ballots and people used to line up and go into little booths and vote paper ballot. There was cheating then too. I remember on the History Channel in one of the big elections when it was going on in New York, one of the top guys went into one of the voting booths with just every pocket he could just lined with fake ballots, and he just started stuffing them. Not only that, the rich back then, like the Rockefellers and everything, used to choose the candidate they wanted to win. Right. And then they would go around buying off all the media companies, so they would only talk about that one candidate, and then they would hand a letter to that candidate of all the stuff they wanted done once he got in there. So there was just as much corruption before the computers.
Wow.
Yeah.
We got a lot to get through. That's for sure.
They just couldn't do it on that wide of a scale like they can now by a push of a button.
Right. We gotta figure it out, because I believe it's in every damn state. You know,
I believe in it's every country. There's a lot of countries now that's speaking out about, wait a minute, yeah, we've seen that too. Yeah, that happened too.
Well, we need to fix ours first, and then we'll fix them. That's the other problem we're going to have is, you know, we're getting back on the Paris Accord and all this garbage, and it's like, oh man, I'm already missing America first. I'm already missing it, and it ain't even started yet.
Dude, we're going to see some serious shit happen. So
I honestly believe if Trump had a bipartisan party of support and had more than 4 years, I honestly believe he could have created world peace. It would have been so much better for everybody, not just us.
Right. You know, with all those new countries that were signing up to that Middle East peace deal. Oh my God, that was so trend-setting, breaking news that should have been from paper to paper across the world on every news station, and they covered it up, man. They barely talked about it.
He put North Korea in its place. I mean,
that goes right. That puts us right back to where we were saying before. Is that he? Never mind. I've lost my train of thought. But they insist that but he's literally Hitler, right? That's what they're saying. Sorry.
You were
going to say something.
I just seen on the Epoch Times, it was just a couple minutes ago, they're claiming that there's 9,000 people from Honduras currently at the border right now fighting with Border Patrol because they want it. I don't know what's going on in Honduras. I know Venezuela is going through a socialist revolution. I don't know what's going on in Honduras, but they all want in now.
I seen the video of that. We got a huge crowd heading our way. They've heard the news as well. And, you know, it's like an open invitation. One of these executive orders that are supposedly supposed to go through is supposed to indoctrinate like 7 million illegals or something crazy like that. I don't even know, man. It's just out of control. Hold on to your butts.
Well, this is the beginning of the end. If what happens, because what he'll do is he'll make all those people citizens immediately. and then the economy will tank because if anyone's arguing at all with anyone about immigration, just explain to them simply this: they got it. A lefty doesn't understand this. You literally have a certain market. When you have more workers for that market, guess what happens to your fucking wage? Dies. It plummets. When you
It can't because he's going to do an executive order for $15 an hour across the nation.
You read my mind. I was literally about to say that. Experts have ran the numbers and they said when he forces companies to do that, small businesses that are already struggling, they're expecting it to kill 1.5 billion jobs because small businesses, for one, are either going to collapse because they can't afford to pay that, or two, they're going to have one person doing the work at 5. So instead of people getting any payment, they're going to all be at home collecting welfare because they can't get a job anywhere. It's going to kill the job market. People won't be able to find jobs. He also wants to shut the country down for 2 weeks immediately to fight back the Dr. Wuhan flu, whatever thing going on. Small businesses that are already struggling, that's going to be the final stab in the back for them. They're not going to make it through those 2 weeks.
Damn it. Yeah, I was on a roll too. I had something Shellback Wings. I had something really important I was going to say. God damn it.
Anyway. NRA is moving to Texas. Don't ask me why the NRA was ever in New York, but they filed bankruptcy to leave New York and their headquarters is going to be in Texas.
That was a good move, I think.
I don't even know why they ever were in New York. I mean, that was a terrible move from the start.
Right. Yeah. Well, New York was okay at one point. Rudy Giuliani came through there, really cleaned that place up, put it back to being a respectable city for a while, and it just goes to show what a good politician can do.
Trump did a lot of good stuff for New York.
I think your problem is you have literally people who have never taken an economics class or even understand what economics is, and people like AOC, and they get in there and they're able to make decisions. They shouldn't be allowed to make these decisions. We pay them. We pay their check. And they don't even understand how the economy works. They think they know, but they haven't been. It's like. You do realize? No, of course not. You don't realize what you're doing. And this reminds me, Shellback that says this, raise the minimum wage, raise the price of everything. That reminds me of when the first time the minimum wage was raised, McDonald's replaced like so many of their employees with kiosks. Did you hear about that? Like, that's what's going to happen. They're going to replace you with a robot because they're cheaper.
Yep. Exactly.
Well, it's happening now because of the pandemic and everything. They were forced to lay everybody off. So a lot of people never got their jobs back because they were all replaced with the self-checkouts. It's happening in grocery stores and everything.
You can look it up. There was a convention in Seattle, I believe just last month, that invented the very first perfect any style pizza maker. And they're like, oh, this is really going to help out pizza places that need to do, very clean and COVID friendly cooking. And I'm just like, yeah, and it'll get rid of every damn, person besides the delivery driver, basically.
The grocery store near where I live, they have a robot that goes around and cleans stuff and alerts people to like spill on aisle 9 and he'll head there. The problem is he's so freaking slow that if there's a pickle spill on aisle 9, 4 people are going to slip and kill themselves before Larry the robot gets over there to alert people that there's a spill.
You mean Debbie the robot, Debbie the bartender? No, I'm just joking. Smooth Group says the bartender just became the titty dancer, bouncer, waitress, and DJ. No time for sex in the champagne room.
Oh no.
Dude, I don't know if we're coming to the point where anywhere you can meet that normally that people would go to bars, they're going to be gone in the next year. That's going to be gone. There's absolutely no way a bar could ever survive in this climate. And it's like Trump wanted everybody to be rich, and that's what he wanted everybody to be. He wanted the entire country to just be rich and wealthy, and that's what makes everybody want to come here more. Economy gets raised up, blah blah blah. Everything keeps building up, blah blah blah.
American dream.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway,
all you got to do is put a little hard work and earn it. The Democratic philosophy is you don't have to earn it; just come here and we'll give it to you.
Oh.
AOC, that's where she came from. OnlyFans, right? That's where she came from. Right. That's where everybody learned who she was, from OnlyFans.
I seen I seen a article where this company now created these masks. Okay, it looks like something out of Batman, where it actually filters the air in and out, and you can turn a knob to turn up your volume. All it's missing is a Bane voice changer from Batman, and you got a freaking people walking around as Bane. Like, I was born in the darkness.
You know, with this stupid mandate coming up, I think I'm just gonna put a mask on the inside of my hockey mask and just walk around, stalking the store like some psycho. We're living in some deranged, crazy horror movie anyway. Might as well fit the role, right?
Dude, that would be actually so funny. I am with you there. I might get a Darth Vader mask.
Where can we get an authentic skin tight Spider-Man costume? I'll just put it on and walk around in that all the time.
Oh, that'd be dope.
It'll be embarrassing, baby, but I'll just never take my mask off. They'll never know who I am.
That's our homework assignment, okay, guys? You're Darth Vader, you're Spider-Man, I'll be Jason Voorhees. Let's go get some GoPro footage. Let's get some people's reactions at Walmart.
Wait a minute. We got to be the Avengers here. We need to be chemistry. We need.
Oh yeah.
You, maybe Iron Man. Where would we go here? Flash, maybe.
Weird shit.
As long as we never take our masks off, no one will know it's us. So we can just do whatever we want. Just walk around. Hey, I'm Spider-Man. You can hang upside down. Some girl come up to you and roll the thing up and give you a kiss.
Masks it's the thing where masks have been proven that they don't help. It's been said many times it doesn't help, it doesn't do anything, and that's their way of exercising the authoritarianism over you. Shellback TJC says she be crazy, but she's not bad looking. I think I'm the only person in the world who doesn't think AOC is hot. I actually think she's not hot at all. That's my opinion.
I agree with you. I think she's got like that donkey looking face.
She does.
She looks people that think she's hot.
A lot of people do, and that's to each his own. To each his own. Everybody,
maybe after a half bottle, maybe.
Maybe definitely after 3 shots of vodka. I would have to drink vodka for her.
Right.
Speakeasies are going to be the next comeback. I can see that too. I can see a lot of people trying to. And then, when you're seeing people getting arrested for partying and getting arrested for
birthday parties.
Yeah, parties. I mean, I tried to grab it. I could not find it for the life of me because you know how Twitter shuts off when you're looking at something. You could be literally watching a video and then it clicks and it's gone.
And they're like, "Oh, you got to be quicker than that."
There was a video. There was a video of another Canadian video. Canada is wallowing in totalitarianism. Man, these people are being arrested for gathering, and that's a scary thought, you guys.
It's the Mounties, eh?
It's out of control.
I mean, I realize social distancing are a weird mandate, but I think all of us know what's really going on. That's my opinion, and I might even get a strike for saying that because I think that's what I got a strike for last time.
Oh, careful now.
We'll find out. Well, I'm going to stop talking about that.
Do the Pig Latin pay.
All right, Walmart sell this ridiculous hazmat suit. I came so close to buying it, so I could just go around.
You know what we all need to do? All 74 million people that voted for Trump just need to all buy a mask that says Trump won. If you're going to force us to wear it, at least we're spreading the word.
Oh, yeah. Not a bad idea.
That's actually a great... it's a great way to get attacked by people, but it's also great. But
make sure you're packing.
Yeah, it's like at that point, you gotta protect yourself. Shellback, TJC, when we get your oculars... We get your oculars checked for specs. AOC is quite...
I noticed from that one picture she was wearing Harry Potter glasses.
Yeah, everybody has a different taste. That's fine. I mean, everybody, like I said, I have my opinion. I'm just a picky bastard.
People like the bad person. People like the bad man. People like the bad woman. And her, well, she's gonna kill everybody. So I guess she's hot.
Right.
I don't know. Are women that want to kill people, or is that a turn on?
Problem solver.
Dude, that's actually a great choice. That's a great thing, actually. You're wearing a mask that says Trump won, and then Smooth Groove says if they start to arrest you, just yell BLM and they start burning shit, and then they'll just leave you alone. You could just switch sides like that easily and say, yeah, I was just working for the other side.
Right.
I'm watching out for you. AOC will redistribute your shit because some fool need gender help in Afghanistan. Yeah, dude. Oh my gosh. I would hate even the thought of AOC getting into serious power. Like, I loved it, the fact that she was giving shit to AOC, to Pelosi, and everybody was kind of getting upset at her about a year ago. And it sucks that they're all just jumping on the bandwagon with her again because she's such a psycho.
So I want your opinion. Biden says he's going after the NRA. Do you think he'll accomplish that? Do you think he'll get away with that? Because the NRA is the only thing between them bugging us. You get what I'm saying? That's why they want them out of the way. What's your opinion on that? Do you think he'll get away with it?
No, because if he starts attacking that, then if Biden's that stupid, but if he does start attacking that, then he's only going to trigger even more people. You get the joke there, trigger. He's only going to trigger more people to fight back, and it'll only cause a wave. It'll cause a wave, and it'll be a red wave that'll knock out all the representatives. It would totally backfire in his face.
You think so? Do you think that you really think so?
You don't go after a man's Second Amendment. The last time a president came out trying to talk about that, who was it? It wasn't Obama necessarily. He kind of ducked and covered around it, dodged and missed it here and there. But I think it may have been Carter, possibly Clinton. But when you go after the Second Amendment, that's what made the NRA strong. That's what brought a whole group of homegrown, backyard, country loving people to the voting booth. That's what it does. It brings out a whole other base that you're not expecting to come vote. Don't attack that Second Amendment.
Put it this way: right now, the First Amendment's under attack. Just in the past week and a half, the First Amendment's been under attack. They get through the First Amendment, just say they succeed in doing that. Second Amendment's the only thing between us and socialism. Because socialism can't exist as long as everybody has the right to bear arms. That's the only thing that'll be left between their goal and yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a common saying where they say, if you lose your First Amendment, see Second Amendment.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, I part of me thinks, I'm sorry guys, I'm not trying to doom and gloom, but part of me thinks that since they have rendered so much control already, that if that is the case, if Biden does get in and everything is the way it is, they'll be able to remove that because they were able to, I can't even say it on YouTube, but they were able to do something that makes us not trust the government.
Right. Yeah, and that's the problem. But that's like I said, that's where you got to get back to the grassroots, and you got to start building up from your community and right from the foundation back up again, up the chain, and get people into office. At least the best thing that came about from all this is all these people got exposed. You've been exposed. Yeah,
they have.
You know who you are now.
Yeah.
We're going to get you out of there.
But it's like we don't have a voice now anyway, because if they're going to use a Dominion machines, it doesn't matter. Like, all of that can be rendered useless anyway. I'm sorry, guys. This is hilarious. We're talking about AOC again. Shellback says that's why we needs a good railing. Jerk some sense into that melon.
Oh, man. I don't know if that would help.
I don't know about you guys, but I heard there's a reason why. Do you want to know Kamala Harris's game plan for working her way up to the top? She didn't work her way up there. She blew her way up there.
Oh, yeah. Slick Willie.
Yep.
Dude. Oh, my gosh. Well, I mean, for anyone forgiving Kamala Harris for her, because her past, whatever, I guess apparently she was a working girl, so to speak, or whatever you want to call. And she was
working all right.
Yeah. And so everybody was giving her crap about it, and she was like, "That's racist." So like you just call anything racist now. Isaac says, "I have faith in your force, young Padawan," and I think it's amazing to have faith. I want to have a positive stream with you.
Here's what's going to happen on Wednesday. It's going to go down just like Star Wars. Okay. Trump's going to appear on TV using the emergency broadcast. He's going to be wearing a Emperor Palpatine cloak, cape, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be really dark. Pence is going to be kneeling in front of him. And Pence is going to be like, "What is your bidding, thy master?" They're going to CGI a little hologram into his hand, and Trump's going to be like, "Execute Order 66." And then you're just going to have 25,000 troops just running in there and, arresting people.
Wow. Wow.
Imagine,
that could be kind of cool, actually.
The sight of seeing senators arrested off of the floor. Oh my goodness, what a wet dream!
Right.
And George Lucas is just sitting back, saying like, "That's copyrighted. That's my thing."
Let's see. Smooth who says, "Go ahead." What?
I'm sorry. And then you just
Go
see
ahead.
Pence in like an Anakin Skywalker cape walking up the Capitol steps with like 40,000 military and clone trooper armor, just like in the song is playing like da 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 da. Then you get different angles. Someone please get on that.
TJ says Michelle Obama is a nuclear terrorist.
You mean Barry
man.
Obama?
That'll be the next
Big
Netflix
Michael.
special. Yeah,
Dude, Big Mike. Yeah, Big Mike.
Netflix special.
I think I'm sure I've told this story before, but if anyone hasn't seen it, just like I literally, it was on. I think it was literally 2 days after Christmas. I was hanging out with my family, and I said, yeah, Michelle's a man, and my niece was like, what? Just to look. I wish I had the look on her face because she was just like, what? She was just, and she just was completely dumbfounded. And it's like, it's amazing to see how people are completely blown away by these things. It was great. I wish I had it. Just her reaction. It was so great.
What would you do if I just taped this to my forehead and walked into the grocery store?
Well, that reminds me of a Twitter post where someone, I think you retweeted this, Snow. You retweeted.
Looking for Biden.
That was great. That was great.
He's always around the corner here, ready to sniff.
You need to have a Biden puppet that just comes.
Oh no! I couldn't do it.
Dude, comes behind you and like
shooting it. Uh-oh. Hope that doesn't get your channel struck. A puppet. I would shoot the puppet. Get that straight, YouTube.
It happens on Sesame Street, okay? Even Elmo dropped the F-bomb or whoever it was. It was a puppet.
TJC says Kamala blew past the competition. Oh my goodness. Plot twist. Trump card played. Traitors arrested. Life is good. I really hope so. It'll be the craziest thing if we do see that happen. If we do see actual justice being served up on a silver platter on Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Wow.
You have Pence walk into Pelosi's office and you have Pelosi in the corner. And she's like, Master Pence, there's too many of them. What are we going to do?
It's treason. Then.
Then Trump does a flip, even though he's like way too overweight for that. But yeah, exactly.
This is a meme being made. Like I need to make this, but it takes like 12 hours to make a 30-second meme. So
I've been highly considering taking the scene from Star Wars where he's like, I will form a new galactic empire, and everybody starts screaming, and then they're cheering it on, and Padme's like, so this is how liberty dies, with thunderous applause. I've literally thought about doing that and just photoshopping Biden's head to it. It couldn't mean more than now. I mean, that's exactly what's happening without the galactic scale. People are cheering him on
while the thunderous applause of the removal of freedom. Isaac Newton says, I want Special Forces body cam from the CNN raid. Oh God, please. We've been so patient. Dude. Are you talking about is he talking about the Capitol raid, the CNN raid?
Oh, CNN could be raided
too. What am I talking about? Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
Well, then that would be amazing to see. Absolutely. Even seeing Don Lemon arrested. Don Lemon arrested for treason, absolute treason. Oh my gosh, that guy, that douchebag.
That would be brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
That would be, I could probably go. I could chalk that off as probably my number one on my bucket list. Something bad happening to Don Lemon.
Another random question that I just randomly thought about, and it's in regards to our stream last week. Has the Pope been found yet, or is he still missing?
I thought he was in jail.
According to the articles that I've read, and I've done some deep diving on that, I did a video on that on this channel, and he's apparently he's in a unforetold. It's a place that's unforeseen. We don't know where it is, but he's in prison. According to what I've seen, Jeff Dunham. Okay, so we'll check him out. I'm gonna check Jeff Dunham out.
Another question. It's more like a little history fact. Who here knew that the cap? And I just learned this over the weekend too. It's kind of crazy, but did you know the Capitol building has a crypt?
Oh, I did not know that.
The Capitol building, underneath the Capitol building, there is a crypt. It was put there because they wanted to bury George Washington there. But George Washington, before he died, told his family that I don't want to be buried there and treated like a god. I want to be buried back at my hometown where my family is. So the crypt was built. It's currently empty. So you basically got a underground place of the Capitol where there is a crypt with a casket that was never used. Instead, they went with this giant mural painting in the Capitol that pretty much depicts Washington as a god. And the cemetery there is he'd be buried here, go straight up, he's rising to heaven. And then on the top of the Capitol building, there is a Cherokee god that they believe in that shows a person transforming into a bird. And I think it was Cherokee. I might have the wrong tribe there. But in their religion is he starts here at the crypt. Through the painting, he's rising above, and through the statue, he's transforming into something more.
Dude.
But yeah, there's a crypt there. They showed a picture of it, and I just told people, well, Pelosi's about ready. Pelosi's about due to fall over any day, so they're saving that for her.
Oh, no, they're gonna make her a cyborg, man. She'll be the first one. Google's gonna patch into her, and so is Apple.
Who, Hillary? Hillary will be a cyborg?
No, Pelosi, man. She's like she'll be the Speaker of the House till year 3000.
She does not look good. I mean, she looks like she's 190 going on 300. The way she's acting. I mean,
definitely hurting.
I'm going to tell you guys right now, since I would rather do her than AOC in a second.
Oh, that's not
that's
go
some
there.
strong words. That's some strong words.
Let's just not go there.
I'm just pointing out how much I detest AOC. That's just
disgusting.
You might survive that night.
Disgusting.
At least she'll be alive.
Ugh.
I'm not saying that for real. I'm just saying that's
I know.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Shellback TJC says Don Lemon getting 20 years to life for being bitch slapped. Absolutely. That guy they must be paying him a lot because he is a motherfucker. I'm sorry to say, but he is a bastard, that guy. If anyone is responsible for division, it's that mother effer.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, you guys check out Snowdub. Check out to Dawn of Darkness. These guys are great. Please, guys, plug your channels and I'll send them the links.
Oh, thanks. Well, no, nothing special over here. I did drop a brand new video. It's basically I have a dream speech, a little dedication, a little Martin Luther King. Pretty good speech, I thought, for a puppet. Come check it out. It's pretty good. And that's on my channel right now, actually. I just dropped that.
And there's the link right there. I'm posting the link in the chat.
Oh,
there's his link for his latest video.
Yeah, you'll see me around. I'm always hanging out. So right on. Thanks for having me on, Ben.
Absolutely, man.
I'm Kyle from the Dawn of Darkness Network. We're dropping everything there on the Dawn of Darkness Network. Everything is dropping. So we do gaming. We do political podcasts, of course. I do political podcasts with, I guess I got to nod my head that way, with this guy over here, sometimes with that guy down there, whatever.
And we have our website. We have our website.
Yes, livefreeordiepodcast.com. Again, livefreeordiepodcast.com. A lot of the videos we do that might get censored elsewhere on there. We plan on doing content that will only be uploaded there eventually. So make sure you go on there. You plug in your email, receive newsletters. We send email newsletters out from time to time. It's all work in progress. Check it out. We appreciate it.
And the reason for any of that, the reason why we're doing a website is because we have no idea how long we're going to last here. I mean,
exactly.
I think anyone who leans to the right at all, if you really, you could be literally center and lean to the right. Oh, you're not doing makeup tutorials? You're out of here. Get off YouTube. Everyone's being purged from YouTube. There was a D-Live purge over this last weekend. If you guys don't know, D-Live purged a bunch of people. And D-Live was the last. That was the last. That was the one last place people could go. I mean, we're gonna have to start going to private websites, and that's just
Hopefully, our servers aren't on Amazon. And by the way, Ben, I'll tell you later, but we can't use Google Ads for our website. I'll go into more detail later.
That's good to know.
But yeah, we're also on Rumble, Dawn of Darkness Network on Rumble, and Live Free or Die podcast on Rumble. And Ben is on Fanatics of Freedom on Rumble. A lot of the videos you find on YouTube that don't have a lot of views, I can tell you right now, if uploaded to Rumble, are probably getting more views, which is the same thing people said between Twitter and Parler. Stuff they weren't
people are moving to Rumble a lot. There's a lot of people in Rumble right now.
Yep. So if you want unbiased news, an unbiased way to do something of yourself, make something of yourself, the way to make a little bit of cash without being censored, Rumble's the way to go. A lot of people were reporting that their channels have really taken off since they moved stuff to Rumble because they were being censored here. So I appreciate all the support. Check out our website, subscribe and follow. And I would say follow me on Parler, but it's not currently up. So appreciate all the support.
Hopefully that comes back soon.
Yeah.
That's my Rumble page there. Thanks everybody. We appreciate all of you. Come join us tomorrow on my bigger channel. We're gonna have a blast tomorrow, talking about all the great things that our president has done. We're gonna just talk about all of his amazing successes. It'll probably be under an hour, and it'll be just a blast. Thanks everybody. Cool. Have a wonderful day.